Hello, good evening, and welcome back. More news on the London Bridge terror incident, as it has now been called, a terror attack. The man responsible was Usman Khan, who was released from jail just a year into it, and he was on day leave at the time, and despite wearing a monitored device, still committed the act. And he wasn't the only one who was in that scenario. There were 7 others, as the Daily Mail writes. How were they freed? Terrorists jailed with the London Bridge knifeman Usman Khan over 2010 plot to blow up London Stock Exchange went on to plan a Lee Rugby-style murder. So what happened to the 7 others? Mehboob Rahman, 35, was one of 9 terrorists handed long sentences in 2012. They planned to blow up famous sites such as London Eye and Stock Exchange, as terrorists tend to do. Rahman released in 2015 while serving part of his sentence at Belmarsh prison. Doesn't that ring a bell? But there he made friends with Khabib Hussain and Nawad Ali from Midlands. And this is far-reaching and a bigger problem than is immediately alluded to here. The issue of radicalisation in prisons. And Tommy Robinson has done his part to try and shed light on this because of his time in prison as well. And people have commented when they've been inside, as well as police themselves, to say that the police and the guards don't really do anything to stop it from happening, or at least they don't do enough, because they are concerned about being called racist themselves. And that's the same reason for why the grooming gangs in Rotherham happened for so long, as well as in other places, because people looking into it were concerned that they were going to be called racist. Of course, then we get into the Labour Party interfering to cover it up so that nobody could actually lift the lid on these cases. But nonetheless, there is a huge problem of radicalisation towards Islam in British prisons, and here is yet another example, and one that resulted in 2 more people dead. So please forgive me if I don't think of Islamophobia as an issue when we can see the results from it. The trio formed a group called the Three Musketeers and had encrypted texts. In 2013, they had plotted to launch attacks against military targets across the UK. Lee Rigby, yes. A terrorist jailed with London Bridge knifeman Usman Khan over a plot to kill Boris Johnson and attack London landmarks left prison only to begin planning a Lee Rigby-style murder. He was killed outside the Royal Fusiliers. Mehboob Rahman, 35, was one of 9 terrorists, also including Khan, who were handed long sentences. Yep, okay, cool. And here we see Rahman and Khan in their group, obviously well-integrated British citizens, as we can see by the dress they are wearing. Pause for sarcasm. So, moving on past these convicts who look very similar, and Usman Khan finally dead, seeing as he's a repeat offender anyway, and said that he turned his back on terror motives. This seems the only way to stop him. And we have the heroes, the local heroes, who put an end to this man's reign of terror of 2 murders. And seeing as we've already seen a common thread with the perpetrators, let's see if we can see a common thread in the people who stopped him. And yes, all men again. So tell me about that toxic masculinity. And here we have Usman Khan saying that where he's grown up because he was born in England and raised there, and people know he's not a terrorist, or I ain't no terrorist. So, in a way, because it's a double negative, he's being honest. He's saying he is a terrorist. Don't think that's how he quite intended it though, because as we know in taqiyya, or in Islam, taqiyya is the method of which you can lie to the people around you in order to further Islam, as was preached by Muhammad when in a scenario whereby he felt he was being persecuted, and therefore just lying to lay low was worthwhile. And then at that point at which Islam had risen up significantly, then the lying could stop and he could show his true colours, which of course resulted in many people dead, as Islam continues to do. It goes on. Rahman was released in 2015, but while serving part of his sentence at Belmarsh top security prison in southeast London, he became friends with 2 men from the West Midlands, Khabib Hussain and Nawad Ali. Yep. Inspired by the murder of Fusilier Lee Rigby near the Royal Artillery Barracks in Woolwich, southeast London, in May 2013, they plotted to launch attacks against military targets across the UK armed with knives, meat cleavers and even pipe bombs. A 4th man, Tahir Aziz, 40, joined their plot later. Are you beginning to see a common thread here? The jury at the Old Bailey trial heard how MI5, Love this. At least you've got to respect the intelligence agencies of the UK, even if they've suffered a blow in recent years. The jury at their Old Bailey trial heard how MI5 had set up a fake delivery company called Hero Couriers, which employed the four as delivery drivers because it meant undercover security officers were able to search the men's cars when they left them on the premises to make deliveries in their vans. Yes, so they knew who they were, and this is one of the victims. They knew who they were and could therefore look in on them. However, despite having all that intel, they still couldn't put a stop to it. So how effective was it really? Here we have photos of two of the heroes, Thomas Gray and Stevie Hurst, who both work at Small Car Big City, who were two of the heroes who came together to disarm the attacker. This is clearly toxic masculinity from straight white men. And another of those who intervened in the attack on Friday was James Ford on the right, who was actually a convicted murderer who was out on day release. I mean, that's got to help his parole hearing, surely. A convicted murderer who then stopped another mass murderer. So, yeah, fair enough. One brave man later confirmed to be a British transport police officer who ran across the road to tackle the knife man. He is the man in the suit, running away with the knife here we see on the left. It has also emerged today that the London Bridge attacker Usman Khan was a student and personal friend of hate preacher Anjem Chowdhury. Why continue to have this man and people who follow him in the country? As Sargon Khan said, that terrorists should be deported. Surely at some point you've got to say, yeah, we don't actually want these people here. We don't want these people in our country. If you draw the group smaller, if you had people working for you, and maybe then you've got to shrink down the crime from terrorism to somebody who keeps undermining everybody else's work, you would say, we don't want them working here. If you've got somebody in your group of friends or living with you, and they keep damaging all your food, so again, it's decreasing the severity again, you wouldn't want them to live with you. It's the same thing there. So when you scale it up to something like terrorism for a country, you don't want them in your country. Very, very straightforward. In Ali's car they found a pipe bomb and meat cleaver that had the word kafir, non-believer, scratched on the blade. At this point we can definitely say it was in the name of Islam. They also found shotgun cartridges and a replica gun in a JD sports bag in the boot. Could have got that from Liverpool. The group accused MI5 of planting evidence bullshit, but were found guilty of plotting to kill and jailed for life. At the time of the trial, Chief Superintendent Matt Ward, head of the West Midlands Counter-Terrorism Unit, said, this is brilliant, since they've come out of prison, they've been inspired by the Islamic State ideology, and ISIS have since taken credit for the attack. Let's just hope Trump can do more and actually destroy ISIS completely instead of just limiting to that half square mile, which is of course why you've got people like Jemima Begum trying to come back, because he's destroying them. So well done, Trump. He said the men had carefully planned their operation and took steps to avoid drawing attention to themselves, including leaving their mobile phones at home when they travelled to meet in Stoke. Yep, but I think it's worth pointing out that it's not since they've come out of prison, it's while they were in prison, they've been inspired by Islam, the Islamic State ideology, yes, so fundamentalist Islam, just going for the Quran. And then of course you can include the hadiths as well, if you want some more context, but more context doesn't make it any better. So they go on to say that they're searching the home in Stafford in Staffordshire, and they say the four men who were jointly jailed for a total of 75 years received nearly £800,000 in legal aid during the case, which brings me on to another point, that did you know Muslims are very charitable people? They do donate a lot of money. Where does that money go? It can only go to other Muslims, and it often goes to Muslims in other countries, not in the UK. So where would they have got this legal aid from? Well, you can draw your own conclusions from that. And if Muslims really want to integrate and assimilate and be one with British culture, then you can't single out people based on their religion with your donations like that, especially if you're sending it to a different country. They go on to say, like Khan, Rahman's sentence was also reduced by Lord Leveson, good fucking job there, knocking 6 months off his 5-year term, that's it. Rahman's return to terrorism is likely to be used as evidence that Khan's protestations of turning his back on extremism should have been treated with more caution. At this point, just leave the country. If you're going for terrorism, leave the country. We don't want you here. You don't want to be here. You're only here to cause trouble, and we don't want that. So, that is the story. The show an image of the narwhal tusk, which is quite long. It's like a short lance, or about the length of a decent broadsword. So, as always, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think these people should be deported? What do you think should be done about our legal system to stop it from happening? And are you also keen to take up some sort of martial arts, or do you do it already in order to prevent anybody else from carrying this out if you're there? As I've said before many times, and I will say again many times, the best way to counter this is very similar to how Johnson has said it. You've seen this clip here. We'll never be cowed or divided or intimidated, and it's a very patriotic response. That is, the terrorists will know that they can't succeed with their terrorism plots if just ordinary civilians step up, heed the call, and stop these would-be terrorists from committing their acts. Only 2 people died instead of dozens more because of the acts of 4 brave men. 4 brave straight white men, or the toxic masculinity. But yes, if you want to play identity politics, you will lose. So let me know what you guys think down below. Always intrigued to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you next time.